Imagine if life was like an RPG or a video game, one in which we get excited by the adventure laid ahead of us. We're able to choose our classes, level up, figure out our stats, and overall be excited by the quests in front of us that we get to do every single day. See, I for one have been the person that's always been going, I wish I could do this. I have these lofty goals, but I never actually do the things that help me get towards them. Up until I created the real life RPG system, the system that is using gamified techniques in order to turn life into a video game. And in this video, we're going to be going over the 2.0 release, which is out today. So if you're watching this, feel free to click the link in the description, go check it out. But again, this video, I'm going to be going over to Notion right now and checking out every single little detail of how you can get into the system, how you can get started, and overall how you can use it to betterment your life, to level up, and overall find enrichment in the things that we get to do every single day. So now we're in Notion looking at the real life RPG template. When you open this up for the first time, you'll see a very empty space. What you're going to be looking for is this Start Journey button. So if we go through and click the Open button there, what we'll be greeted with is this Start Journey interface. And this is a tutorial that will get you developing your character, creating all your different habits, and show you how the different system works. I'm going to jump forward once I have all of this done, so I don't want to spoil that actually for you. There's a nice little process that we go through with this. But once I have all that, I'll come back with the full interface actually designed. So now I've gone through the tutorial and I have my player avatar, as you can see right here. And for the rest of this video, I'm going to be going through and just explaining how each section works, what it actually does, and how you can think about using the system to properly benefit you and optimize your days so that you can live life like a video game, level up, so on and so forth. So let's start with the player avatar tab. This is going to be your character. And right now you can see I have my name, I have my level, I'm an apprentice, so my class tag, my health, my experience, my gold. These are the main values that you'll be keeping track of alongside your PRISM levels, but I'll get to that in a second. So in the real life RPG system, there is a leveling up system where it is based on how much experience you gain. You gain experience by doing your tasks, doing your quests, as I call them, and basically just continually doing this to level up and betterment yourself. The actual class tags, this is a new feature in the 2.0 system where basically there is a bunch of different classes in this first version of the class system. In particular, there is 31 different classes. You start on apprentice, so apprentice plus 30. These are going to be unlocked based on your level, based on whatever classes you've previously unlocked, and I don't want to spoil too much. The next version of the class tags that you can unlock is going to be available once you reach level 5 and also purchase one of these class tokens. I'll show you how the actual system for the shop works later, but for now, just know that you'll need to buy one of these in order to change your class. And again, there is 30 other classes that don't include the apprentice tag that everyone starts on, so you can really start to delve into the type of character that you want to be. If you want to be a mage, you can go down that rabbit hole. There is a bunch of different classes. If you want to be a warrior, there is likewise a bunch of different classes in that. And there are some basic ones that I don't want to spoil any of this because I like the idea of, oh, I have to discover all this for myself because that's what I would want, so I don't want to spoil any of that. But note that at level 5, so when your character reaches level 5 is when you can first get into your next class. And as a little bit of a tip, when you are getting your classes created and you're choosing the ones you want, make sure you actually start blending random ones together because you never know what 2 classes may be able to unlock in regards to the future classes. Here's a very, very slight tidbit. When it comes to the first level 5 classes, if you get all of them, you will unlock a lot more classes to choose from there forward. That's all I'm going to say. So moving back into this, the next value that I wanted to bring a focus to is your health. Right now, my health is 10 out of 10. As you level up, this will expand so you have more health, but likewise, you'll be taking more damage and whatnot based on things you don't do. And by things, I'm referring to these down here, which are your habits. If you've seen the real life RPG system before, you'll know that I directly tie the habits that we do each day to the health value of your character, because if you are doing the things that you need to be doing each day, you should be moving forward in life. So I want to make sure that there is a focus on doing those things, because as it says in Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you simply fall to the levels of your systems. So if you're doing day in and day out the things that are actually going to move you towards your main quest goal, then overall, there is no way that you are going to fail. So directly tying these to your health. So I have 3 here that I've customized for me. I like to complete a main quest each day. I like to read 1 chapter of non-fiction, and then I also like to work out or do some sort of training each day. So as I do these, I can click them off, and you'll see now I have a little tick and edited one page. So that means that that habit has been logged for today, and I will not lose 20% of my health tomorrow based on that. So if you don't do any of your habits, you will lose 60% of your health. If you don't do one of them, you'll lose 20%. So again, 3 times 20 is 60, that's how that works out. So if you don't want to be losing health each day, you need to make sure you are doing your habits, because otherwise, well, you're gonna die. And that's a whole process that I wouldn't recommend. So that's how the habits work. Again, all of these are covered when you are making your character in the tutorial in more depth as to how you're creating them, what they're meant to be saying, so on and so forth. The next aspect I wanted to bring up was the experience and the gold. Now these are directly tied to your quests. So if we move over to this aspect over here, you'll see that I have 2 main types of quests. I have my main quest and my side quest. The main quest, I believe, is the really high leverage task that's moving you towards your main goal at this point in time. Again, in the tutorial, there is a process that helps you outline what your main quest is. The basis of it is try and figure out what problems you have in life and what is overall the biggest problem that is driving all of those. It could be that you're in a place where you need to earn more money. Well, that means that you probably need to focus on your career and you want to level that up. Okay, how do you do that? And it takes you through that process of figuring out what your main quest is. Again, I don't have anything here right now because I didn't want to spoil any of the projects that I do have in mind right now. But I'll take you through what it's like to create a quest. So down in the player menu below your real life RPG system, you'll see a quest log, and if we press that, it will bring up this little interface right here, where we have our little quest giver, and we have different tabs in regards to the type of quest that we can do. I'm actually going to put this to full width because that's how I like to view this thing. But when it comes to it, I'm going to design my main quest right now. So let's say I'm trying to run a marathon. So by default, you'll see two of the values get changed. First is main, and the second is impact. Again, main versus side is simply a value of, is this moving you towards your main goal? If not, it is a side quest. So basically, if I'm trying to run a marathon as my main quest, anything that doesn't directly relate to running that marathon is not going to be a main quest for me. It's going to be a side quest. So there are obviously so many things we still need to do in life. We can't just forget everything else we have to do in order to focus on one thing. Some people have that liberty. I do not personally. I still have to pay rent. So running a marathon is not the way that I'm going to be doing that. And that way I can then start also deciding, okay, am I focusing on my main quest or my side quest? You saw that as part of my habits, I try and do 1 main quest a day because I know that that really helps me move forward in life. But again, that is your prerogative. That's how I use the system. And going forward, I may adjust it, but I really like the main and side quest system. The next aspect that I wanted to talk about was the impact. And here's a good point to point out that like in every single one of these aspects, if you do not understand them, there is a little info tab that explains what the actual thing is. All you have to do is hover over that little I button and it will show you a breakdown of what that thing is. So the impact value is a score of 1 to 5. And this is simply a value in relation to how much impact this task is going to have on the overall quest. So right now, running a marathon, it is the whole quest, so it is a number 5. That puts up the priority of that task, and it will also increase the amount of experience and gold that I gain from it. The next value that I really want to make sure people are using is a due date. Because if something doesn't have a due date, you will leave it until whenever you can. There is a whole thing called Parkinson's law, where basically time will expand to the amount of time that you will let it. So if you're trying to do something, let's say you're trying to write an essay. If you're trying to write it by Monday, you will have it done by Monday. If you're trying to have it finished by 3 weeks from now, you will get it finished exactly 3 weeks from now. That's just a basic rule that tasks fill the time allotted to them. So making sure that you have deadlines that are effective, but also balanced enough so that you are not overloading yourself with the amount of work. So let's say I want to run a marathon by 1st of next year. Sure, I don't know what marathons are up, but that can be part of the process. And then finally, I have one other value here, which is PRISM. Now this is, if I go back to the main interface, you'll see PRISM levels just here. And this is what I have deemed as the user stats. I've made a whole video about it in the previous video, but the basis of it is there are 5 values that depict what I think is a well-rounded human experience, because we shouldn't just always be focused on work, as someone who has learned that the hard way. So the 5 values are perspective, relationships, intelligence, strength, and moxie. Perspective is the type of things that help you expand your understanding of the world. This is new experiences, experiencing new places, challenging your own point of view when it comes to different topics, going and learning from people. Relationships is simply just interacting with the people you love with, going and making sure you are networking with people in your industry, spending time with your loved ones, so on and so forth. Intelligence is your overall quote-unquote smarts, so the amount of knowledge that you have in certain areas. If you're trying to study for an exam, the knowledge that you gained is going to be added to your intelligence. Strength is everything in relation to your physical body, so this could be getting 8 hours of sleep, this could be making sure you are eating and drinking each day, going and working out, so anything that's in relation to basically your physical body and physical health. And finally, moxie is how I define discipline and the refinement of one's skills. So these are the things where it's, okay, you may not want to do them, but you know you have to do them, so let's get them done. These are your chores, these are waking up early, but there's also the aspect of refining your skills. You may need to practice something over and over. If I want to learn to play the piano, I can't just go, oh, I understand the knowledge of how the piano is played, now I can do everything. No, you still need to sit down and practice it each day, or however long you want to. And that's part of the moxie aspect. So going back into the quest log, you can see now that each task, you can select one main thing. So if I'm running a marathon, it's mainly going to be a strength-based task. This is going to be a task that really starts adding towards my strength value in that. And as a little bit of a insider baseball type deal, these levels will basically go up 1 for every 10 of that task that you enter. So if I do 10 strength tasks, my strength will then become 2. This way it becomes a case of you need to consistently be doing multiple different checks and balances in regards to your life of, oh, I'm really focusing on strength. I have all these points in strength. Maybe I should spend more time in my relationships. And that way we can start to really value a more balanced life. But again, if you want to really just buckle down and focus in on like the intelligence, your knowledge in a certain area, then by all means you can do that. This is your system. There's no one like right or wrong way to do it. So yeah, that's basically how that works. And from here, what we can do now is we can actually start to create sub-items. So you'll see that to the left of it, there was a little triangle that popped up. And once I did that, there was a little new task area that I can go through and I can research races. This could be a 2 because it gives me an idea of where I'm going towards, but it's not actually doing any of the work of me getting to that marathon. This one's probably going to be more of an intelligence aspect. It is me trying to understand, oh, okay, well, here is the deadline and whatnot. And then I can set that for Sunday. So I need to have that done by Sunday. And you can break these down in a number of ways. Again, in the tutorial, there is a whole process that helps you through understanding what your goals are and how to achieve them and break it down into individual tasks. Because the thing that you should do with this is outline each and every thing you should do leading up to that. And it's a big, overwhelming threat at times to go, oh God, I need to figure out everything. But when you actually sit down, give it enough time to actually think, okay, how do I achieve X? Well, okay, I need to do 2 of Y. Okay, how do I achieve 1 of Y? I need to do 3 of Z. And in doing so, you really start to figure out the tasks that I personally aim for, the tasks that will take less than a day. If those tasks is going to take more than a day, I usually try and break it down even further. So researching races, not going to take more than a day. What will take more than a day though is daily runs, just so that I can focus on actually doing that. And that's going to be a huge contributing factor to actually doing a marathon. So I'll put that at 4. And again, that is a strength-based thing. And then that one I'm going to have leading up to the 31st. So that way I know each and every day I need to do this. But, okay, what about if I have a task like that where it needs to be done by that date, which is so far away? Well, it's just a simple thing of going through and going, okay, here's the run for today, here's the run for tomorrow. But doing this in regards to whatever task you are doing. Now, you keep going through and doing this, you'll find that there is actually a lot that needs to get done when you are trying to achieve your big goals. But when you have an understanding of exactly what they are, they feel a lot more achievable. And because you've done it in this system, once we go back to the dashboard, you'll note that directly under me, you'll see one task in the main quest area, and that is research races. Now, I put in 3 different values just then. Why is only one of them showing? And that's because the way this system works is it takes the next available task that you have to do, sets the priority based on all of these different factors, like the impact, like if it's a subtask, like if it has a certain date that's closer than another one. And in doing so, it will then show you only the things that you need to do right now. If you want to actually change this up and change the way it looks, you can go into the property, should I say? Change it so it's like, okay, well, I want to also include the due date. So now you can see that it's also due on Sunday. This little tag here shows you what type of task it is. So purple, if we look over at the player avatar, you can see is an intelligence task. So you know that's going there. But also because of the values I sent, I now know that, okay, that's going to give me 200 experience and 10 gold. Okay, cool. If I press this done button and complete that task, you'll see that now over in my player avatar, I have 206 experience and 16 gold. How did that happen? Well, the way that works is basically if you finish a task ahead of the deadline that you set, it's going to take the base level that it showed you in that main quest area and then give you extra based on how far ahead of schedule you are. So if you finish something a year out, it's going to give a lot of experience. If you finish something the day after it's due, you're actually going to lose experience. You're going to lose the gold that you could have gotten if you got it done on time. So making sure we are actually keeping up to date with the tasks we need to do. And then as you level up, you'll see that this goes up, but as you reach the next couple levels. So if I go back into here and I just create a bunch of tasks here where it is big task. I set it to 5. I'll set perspective, sure. And I'll set it for next Monday. One thing you will note is that when we go back to the system, you won't see the daily runs or the run a marathon because the date itself is so far away. What you will note, however, if I duplicate this a few times just so I make sure that I actually do level up. There we go. We go back to the main interface. What you will notice, however, is you can see that next to the task, you see what the parent task is. So in this case, I know that all these tasks are helping me run that marathon. Now, if it was part of the subsection of studying races, it would have shown the studying races part. But now you can see each of these are going to be 500 gold and 500 experience and 26 gold, all due next Monday. If I was just super good, finished all of them, you'll see all of these values go up. Oh, I need to actually do one more task before I level up, so let's quickly go back and do that. I'll just mark these ones done from here. Lovely. You can see now that I'm level 2. My experience has gone up a bunch because I finished a main quest, and my gold has also gone up a lot because I finished these ones way ahead of time. So you'll note that the date of those was set to the January next year. So if you finish things way ahead of time, you'll get a lot more experience based on that. You'll see now I'm level 2. I have 20 health instead of 10. The health is always going to be 10 times your level. So that's just an easy way to keep that number. And you'll note that none of these PRISM levels have actually leveled up. And that's because I haven't completed 10 of a singular type of task yet. These are going to be much harder to level up than your character in general. So just keep that in mind as you're going forward. And now that I have money, you'll see that as I scroll down, if I go to the affordable items tab on the item shop, I can now start to buy the items that are related to my character. So I can heal myself for 10, for 4. Do note those health values will scale with you as you level up. I can buy a class token, so at level 5 I can change my class. I can buy a shield, so let's say you're somewhere and you really just can't get your habits done this day. You can buy one of these items and it will protect your health the next day from getting damaged because you went, no, today I'm just going to spend a little bit of my gold here and that way I won't take my damage for the habits I don't get done today. I'll give myself a pass today. And one of the cool things about this is you can also just start setting your own goals. So you may go, okay, one of my item prizes that I'm working towards with all this gold I'm saving up could be, okay, I want to save for a holiday. You put that in there. You set a price based on multiple different parameters. So if I go through, you can choose an image that's set for it. And then in here, you'll find a little value, which is called price tier. And this is going to be a cheap weekly reward, an average monthly reward, or expensive yearly reward. And these will basically depict the price that, okay, a cheap weekly reward is going to be 150 gold, but an expensive yearly reward is going to be 3,000. So it really does put into perspective how much work will need to get done in order to achieve that thing. If you really want to get into the weeds with it, you can ignore all of those and set a manual price. So if you want to go, I want this to be 10,000 gold, then it's going to be 10,000 gold. But the price tier will always overwrite that. And basically there is a value that say, hey, can you purchase it? So let's say this is my holiday. I won't bother putting an image because that's going to take too long to find the right image for it. But if I now go down here, you'll see it doesn't pop up. And that's because there is an unaffordable tab. And these are the things you can go, okay, I need to look forward to my holiday. And one thing I did forget to put in there is in the description value here, my holiday. It creates a value that just updates the description on the actual page. And you can see now that my holiday is 3,000 gold. So once I reach that point, I can now go, yep, I'll book the tickets now because I'm spending my gold and I've finally rewarded myself for doing all of the work that I've done. And finally, one of the last things I wanted to show you in regards to this is one of these new tabs that is still quite evolving, but I wanted to just have a basic sort of interface that shows me the tasks I've done, the type of tasks, and overall my PRISM stats of what have I been doing. So there's this view progress tab that gives you a little bit of an understanding of, okay, well, I've done 3 perspective, 1 intelligence, and 1 strength task. And these can be viewed over, like, overall, so of all the tasks you've done, or just in the past month. And these will always start from the first of the month. So in this regard, there will be 13 days worth of logs in regards to this, because today is the 13th of September. So if I go back to that, and then down here we also have tasks completed, and then the categorization of, okay, how many main quests versus side quests I've done. And this is broken down into 7 days, 2 weeks, current month, and 3 months. So that way you can start going, oh, okay, it turns out Tuesdays are my most productive day, and the second month of the week is when I get most of my work done. Being able to actually track these trends and go, oh, I've done a lot of work in regards to this past month, is such a motivator to look back and go that you are capable of the things that you said you were going to do. And once you start that snowball, you can continually roll with it. Perfect example for me is making these videos. This is always something that I really procrastinated over. I was like, oh no, it's gonna be too imperfect, I don't know what I'm saying, people aren't gonna value what I'm saying. But then I just decided to start making these videos. I looked back the other day, I've been making these for, like, consistently, probably about 2 to 3 months now. That's insane to me. I felt like I only started it last week. And just by doing that and being able to look back and go, okay, I have done all of this, it really creates this snowball effect that makes me much more likely to do more of it in the future. And it's actually ended up being one of those things that I keep coming back to going, oh, I'm capable of that, so why can't I be capable of this? And continually leveling up not just my character on this, but my mindset in real life to know that I am capable of things and continue moving forward in life. Finally, one of the last things I do want to show you on this is down the bottom here, there is going to be a products tab. So any type of update that I create in regards to this, so this has been around since the first version, and you'll see now that version 2 is live. I'm not going to click on that because that's a message specifically for the people who have bought the main system, but there's also one in regards to the trial system, which is completely free. So if you actually want to check out this whole system, you can come and check it out. Click the link in the description, or even just follow along with this journey. It's going to be continually developed. There are a couple of things I wanted to get done for this system, but it's not done yet, which means there is going to be version 3, version 4. I'm not sure when I'm going to stop, but one thing I do want to make sure is that this is not just my system anymore. I want to make sure that everyone involved in part of this system in these videos is being part of the celebration of leveling up in real life, gamifying our lives in order to make the biggest movements of progress that we have ever had. So if that sounds like you, sign up to the newsletter below, in which we're going to be creating a lot more value for you guys on an ongoing basis. And likewise, subscribe to this channel to keep updated with all the things we're doing here. If you have an idea of how this system wants to be used or how you're using it personally, leave a comment in the description. Send me an email. Like, I want to know exactly how this is benefiting people and how we can improve it even more going forward. I note that in this version, I have a lot of these animated characters, and there's a lot more that I have been trying to work towards as well. So those will be basically sent out in that email each week of going, hey, here is an updated like GIF that you can use as your character. Here are some new classes that you can drag and drop into the class system. And basically, I want to continue working on this, see it improve, see it level up in the system itself. But I can only do that if you guys are also helping support the system. So again, feel free to subscribe, follow along with this journey, and feel free to try it out for yourself. There is a free version in the link below. It has pretty much all of the functionality here except for the PRISM system and a couple other small detail things. But either way, thank you for joining along with this journey. I'm very excited to see how you guys actually end up using this system. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.